Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, I'm Debbie Hoffman. I am a sales and follow-up coach. And I work closely with heart-centered coaches, consultants, network marketers, all sorts of entrepreneurs who are letting potential clients and income slip through the cracks because they don't have an effective and reliable follow-up and sales system in place. And I support you to create a step-by-step process for your business so you know what to do and what to say at every step of the way, and ultimately have more ideal clients saying yes to working with you. So I'm so grateful and honored to be part of this Toastmasters event. And today we'll be talking about authentic follow-up so that you can enroll more clients and create more abundance with ease. So before we dive in, I wanted to share with you, I have this incredible short assessment where you'll learn where you're doing well with your follow-up and sales, and you can celebrate those areas. And you'll also see those areas that you might be sabotaging your success, those areas that might need some attention. And everyone I speak to who has taken this assessment has said it's been such an eye-opener for them. They've learned so much about their skill set. And there are all these things that we don't know, right? That it's not even on our radar screen. So taking this assessment will really help. So maybe you're in pre-launch, you haven't even started your business yet, you just have a concept. This assessment will be really helpful for you. Or maybe you're in the early stages of your business, but you need systems and processes in place. Maybe you're not getting the traction that you need. Or maybe you're an established entrepreneur, but you're just really looking to fine tune your processes and techniques and skill set. So no matter where you are in your business, you'll benefit from taking the assessment. Here's the link, www.powerupbizquiz.com. Okay. So have you ever been in a situation where things were really tight financially? Well, I found myself in this dark, stuffy, noisy vendor hall. I was at this networking event because I desperately needed to make money. My husband was a high-end custom home builder, and when the real estate market crashed in California, we lost all of our projects, including our home that went into foreclosure. So I was in a really desperate situation. And I saw some women that I thought would be great clients for me. And when I walked over to them, they actually turned and walked the other way. So I don't know if you guys can ever relate to this, but have you ever been in a situation where things were so desperate and people will feel that energy? They'll pick up on that. And I had no idea what was going on. I wasn't connecting with people. I had no idea what was going on, but I had worked on Wall Street for 20 years. And we were trained to come across in like a salesy, pushy, aggressive way. And I was still doing that, not knowing that this doesn't work in the entrepreneurial world. And I wasn't getting any referrals. Like how many of you have put out there into the universe about, or you've asked clients or maybe partners for referrals, but nothing's coming in? Well, that's the situation I was in. So people were avoiding me. Like I found myself at this event, these women walked away. We had just filed bankruptcy and my son was about to graduate from college and we promised to take him to Italy for his graduation present. But obviously we had to cancel that trip because we had no money. We were living month to month. We barely were making it. And if you're a mom listening to this, I'm just, wonder, have you ever been in a situation where you let down your kid? Like it just feels so horrible. So I didn't know what the heck was going on. And I remember coming home and saying to my husband, something's not working here. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm frustrated and I don't know what to do about it. I realized I had this aha moment that I was being driven by my Wall Street training. It worked really well on Wall Street because I made very high six-figure income, but it didn't work in this entrepreneurial world. I wasn't showing up in service to people. And I realized I needed to let go of my agenda, show up in service, see how I can help people, let go of the attachment to the results, to the outcome, and stop going to events looking for clients. So I let go of my agenda, made it all about them, and everything started to shift. I got out of my head into my heart, got out of my masculine into my feminine. And whether you're a man or a woman, we all have both parts of us, the The masculine part is how we get stuff done, and the feminine part is where we connect. And as men and women, we need both. And I was way out of balance because of my Wall Street training, because it was me and the guys for years. Like I just had to show up in that very masculine way. So everything started to shift for me. Everything shifted. And now I have a thriving, heart-centered, six-figure business that I'm so grateful to have. And I'm helping so many entrepreneurs to create a business that they love, to reach their dreams and goals. And remember, I mentioned about that trip to Italy? Well, we were standing in this plaza in Venice, and we were listening to sales conversations going on around me. But now we were on this trip, and the sky was blue and this gorgeous building behind us. And I had that moment of just such gratitude, just thinking that just a few years ago, we were living month to month. And now here we were on this incredible trip. And I just felt like I had accomplished so much. And it was all because I had created this step-by-step follow-up and sales process during my Wall Street days. And I tapped into that and went from 0 to 6 figures in 14 months. And so that's what's possible. And I realized that I had to share this with other people, because so many people struggle with the sales and follow-up piece. It's just something that's so hard for people, and it just comes naturally to me. So that's my journey. I wanted you to hear that I wasn't always great at follow-up. Like I really struggled with it, and went from that salesy, aggressive, pushy place to being more heart-centered, showing up in service and seeing how I could help people. And that's what I'm going to talk about with you today. So today I'm going to share my formula with you, 3 parts of it: how to network in a way that builds connections, meaningful connections without being salesy; how to develop a reliable follow-up system that keeps clients and money from slipping through the cracks; and how to create a consistent flow of highly qualified and enthusiastic clients who are excited to work with you. Like, do you want that? I bet you do. Okay, so getting better results from online networking. I'm going to start with online networking first, because a lot of us are doing that these days. And then I'll be talking a little bit about in-person events as well. So I want to talk about how to network without being salesy. All right. And what I'm going to share might be a different approach than what you're used to. So I just invite you to have an open mind. So don't go to events to sell and to get clients. And you're probably thinking, what are you talking about, Debbie? That's why I go to networking events, to get clients. Well, hang in with me, okay? I recommend that you show up in service, just like I was talking about with me earlier. Get curious, ask powerful questions. Be present, be a good listener, find out how you can help people. Ask about them first before you start talking about you. And then let go of your agenda. You're showing up to meet people, to make connections, and you'll see what happens. But if you go looking for clients, that desperate energy will be felt, like people felt with me, and they will turn and walk the other way. And then connect with somebody else. Think of someone who a resource. If they mention that they're looking for a web designer, or they're looking for a specific type of entrepreneur to partner up with, connect them with that person. When you connect someone with someone else and it turns out to be a valuable connection for them, they will forever be indebted to you, and they'll be so grateful, and they'll go out of their way to do anything that they can to support you in return. So you need to practice and prepare before you go. And here's what I mean. You know, every time you go to a networking event, people ask, what do you do? And what are you going to say? Most people go on and on and on. Have you ever been in an event where you ask somebody what they do and 5 minutes later, they're still talking and you're like, get me out of here, right? That happened to me in an event with this guy. And I just checked out. He finally asked about me at the end of 5 minutes, but I was already done, right? So we don't want to be that person. So you want to prepare in advance. And I work with my clients. I have a great template that helps you to share succinctly in just 2 sentences what you do. And that's very hard to do, to consolidate everything that you do in your business to 2 sentences. But trust me, it's easy to do, and it really is effective, because it gets people to lean in wanting to know more. If you go on and on and on for too long, people aren't going to be interested. They're going to check out, right? So shorter is better. You don't want to be too polished. You know, there are some people out there that come with their polished, like elevator pitch, right? We don't want to be that polished person. We want to be more conversational and more natural. And then remember, I was talking about asking powerful questions. So prepare in advance the questions you're going to ask people to find out what they do, to find out who they serve, to find out what they're looking for support with or what they need in their business so that you can become like a valuable resource for them. Like I said, the more you give to people, the more they're going to want to reciprocate. And then come prepared with something to offer. So I gave you an idea before about connecting them with somebody, but here's what I mean. When I used to network in person, I would always ask people if they were looking for other events to attend, and they always said yes. And I said, I have this great event that I've been going to. Would you like me to make an email introduction to the person who hosts the event so that they can welcome you into the community? And how do you think they responded to that? Like, they don't even know about me yet. I haven't even shared what I do, but I'm already helping them. So that's what I mean. Come prepared with a way you can help people, something you can offer to them. And if they're looking for a web designer or a virtual assistant, if you know someone, you can offer that resource. And then bring marketing materials with you, okay? So this is for online and in person. If you're networking online, here's the secret. Create whatever your, PDF or whatever you're offering, maybe a workshop or an event coming up or a program, and then save it in Google as a Google Doc. And then you can share the link in the chat for your offer. Okay, you always want to be prepared with something that you're going to offer. If you're networking in person, obviously you'll bring physical flyers, and a lot of times they have a table where you can put your offers down there and just keep them with you so that when you're talking to somebody, if they're interested in learning more about what you do, you can offer that. Now, set an intention. This is something I recommend you do before anything in your business. Always set an intention. What do you want to have happen at the event? Look for JV power partners. So instead of looking for clients, look for those joint venture partners or power partners who you can connect with. Now, if you don't know what this means, these are people who have similar clients as you, but are not in competition with you. So they're talking to people all day long who are your ideal clients. So you can actually get more referrals from these partners than you will from just going to these events looking one-off for a client, right? So be intentional about what you want to have happen. Maybe you want to meet three potential partners who you'll then get together with for a meeting, right? And joint venture, if you're not familiar with that, that's when people actually mail for your program, they post on social media. With power partners, it's just more a casual one-off referral or email introduction. And it takes the pressure off when you're not going to these events looking for clients. I have so many clients that have said to me, I love to help people. I love to show up in service. I stopped networking because I felt so salesy and pushy and so much pressure to find clients. They said, I can do this. I can just show up and help people. And you'll see in a minute, I'll share with you what happened with one of my clients. So your enthusiasm and body language, so important, especially when you're on Zoom, because you're in this little box and you can't go up to people in person, right? So move your body, smile, be enthusiastic. Whenever I'm on Zoom, I'm always attracted to those people who are engaged. Be authentic. Don't try to be somebody else. Show up as yourself, because if you're not authentic, people will read right through it. So here's some tips for online networking. Smile. Like I was saying, I'm attracted to people who are smiling. Be visible. It's so hard to figure this online networking thing out, but you need to be visible. I'll give you some ideas of how to do that. So first, you want to put your contact information in the chat. And if you have a link for people to connect with you for like a collaboration call, put that in there. And then comment in the chat. Always be commenting, because that's the way people are going to get to know you. If there's a speaker at an event, summarize the speaker's key points in the chat. They'll appreciate it, and the host of the event will really appreciate it. Share takeaways and insights from the talk. What value are you getting from it? Again, they'll appreciate it so much, and it helps the other people to see the summary as well. Be engaged, answer the speaker's questions. Whenever you're at a networking event and the host or the speaker asks a question, raise your hand. Even if you don't know what you're going to say, you'll figure it out, because that's the way you get exposure. That's the way you get visible. That's the way people are going to get to know you and like you and trust you. Interact with other people in the chat. So if somebody says something, comment on it, engage with them. Just like if you were at a live event, you were talking to them, think of the chat as the way you're communicating with people. So I want to tell you about Gwen. She had given up on networking. She hated networking. She was afraid of being pushy and salesy, and she hated how everybody else was so pushy and salesy with her. She wasn't bringing in business from these events. And she hated follow-up, and she had no system in place. And she wasn't following up with referrals that she was receiving, which is like a big ouch, because she didn't know what to say. She didn't know what to do. And she's a professional organizer and interior designer. So now people are drawn to me. In just 10 weeks since working with Debbie, I brought in 8 new clients and $20,000 in additional income. And now 80% of my income comes from networking. She actually said she started dating networking events to find the best place to go. So you want to find events where they have your people that you can relate to, that have similar clients as you. All right, here's for in-person events. Keep the conversation short, but not too short. So you have to have a balance here between speaking to somebody long enough to build some connection, but not too long, because you want to be able to meet as many people as you possibly can. So the people that you really have a great connection with, you want to schedule the coffee meetings, right? So meet as many people as possible, schedule the coffee meetings with the folks that you have the best connection with. And build the relationship. Like so many times people say to me, networking events don't work. They're a waste of time. And I asked, have you gotten together with anybody afterwards one-on-one? No, I haven't. Well, it's like no one's going to ask you to marry them on the first date. Like you're not going to get a client or a partner on the spot. You have to connect with them and get to know them and build the relationship. All right, so we're going to move on now to number 2, developing a reliable system so clients and money don't slip through the cracks. If you're, I bet some of you who are listening have said that to yourself or to someone else. Oh my gosh, I know I'm losing clients. I know they're slipping through the cracks. First step is get a CRM. Stands for Customer Relationship Management System. Okay, it's the technology for your follow-up. So I'm going to share the benefits of having this system. It automates every step of the process for you. It helps you to stay on track with all your contacts. You get to set reminders. So after you text or email or call someone or chat on social media, however you're connecting with somebody, you set a reminder for the next time you're going to reach out. Because if you're texting somebody or messaging them on social media and you don't put it in your CRM, they'll slip through the cracks. You'll forget about them. It's really hard to keep track of all of the people you're following up with. And you can store notes in there. So when you come back from an event, an in-person event, you'll write all the notes, or online networking, put all the notes in of what the person said, what you discussed. And then when you call them again, what their challenges are, what they're struggling with, and refer to the notes before you call them again. And you will create a deeper connection. It's all about building deeper, long-lasting relationships. And that's what having a system in place helps you to do. You can store templates and scripts there as well. So anytime you send an email out more than once, you want to create a template. And then all you do, call it something that you'll remember. You go into the person's contact, click on the email icon, an email window will come up. You press on the template and it shows up, and then you just customize it and just add whatever else you want to add. It will save you so much time. And you'll come across more professional because you're going to be in touch with people and they're going to go, wow, Debbie's really serious about what she has to offer, and it will get their attention, right? So I'm going to share some stats with you. It takes 5 follow-up contacts minimum before someone will say yes to working with you. But only 8% make that crucial 5th contact. And it's because they have scripts and they know what to say. That's one of the reasons. Having scripts in place is really critical. And you don't want to ever read a script. It's just a roadmap to keep you on track, okay? We don't want to be robotic. And they have a timeline. They know when they're going to follow up next, how many times, within what time frame. These are the things that those 8% have that make them so successful. And of course, those 8% are counting for 80% of the business out there. And I want all of you to be one of those 8%ers. So here's what my clients are saying about CRMs. Their life is so much easier. They're staying in touch with people longer because they don't have to keep track of this stuff in their head. They're not giving up too soon. And guess what? They're getting more clients and JV and power partners. I had a woman once, and she said, I asked her what her system was, and she said she'll be driving, and all of a sudden somebody will pop into her head. And when she gets to her destination, she'll call that person. That is not a follow-up system. That is not sustainable, right? I mean, that can happen, but you also have to have a process in place so that the CRM reminds you. It will send you a text reminder or an email, or it will pop up in the system saying it's time to follow up with Mary. So here's some CRMs that I have vetted. You can go to my website, powerupyourfollowup.com/resources. There's some easy to use ones that are really more affordable. And then there's more complicated and more sophisticated ones that are more expensive. But get a CRM, it's really critical. So Ming was missing opportunities to build relationships, valuable relationships, and grow her business. She was feeling really disorganized. She was very scattered. She was chasing unqualified leads. She didn't have a process for pre-qualifying. And she was going off on tangents. And she wasn't following up with people because she didn't know what to do or what to say. She didn't have a process in place. So Debbie gave me a roadmap to follow. The results have been phenomenal. I'm communicating better with my team, adding more value, building valuable relationships, creating a loyal following of team members and customers. And it's been hugely profitable for her. She did 2 email campaigns that she invited people to webinars, and it brought in $32,000 in revenue. She had never had that happen before. So the CRM is the first step, but you need to know what to do and what to say and what methods of communication are best and how often you should follow up and when to stop. And that's where I come in. So you can have the best CRM in the world, but you need all these other things in place as well to maximize the results that you're getting. Okay, I'm going to move on to the third area, which I love to talk about. So this is about creating a consistent flow of enthusiastic clients. Do you have any idea how you do that? It's through referrals. Referrals are the most powerful source of new business. And it's because they come from satisfied clients. People who have already experienced the benefits of working with you. People aren't consistently asking for referrals. And I'll ask you now, are you consistently asking your clients for referrals? And most people say no. And so my question is to you is why not? And a lot of times people say they've already asked somebody to become a client. Now they're going to ask them for a referral. Like that's asking for too much. Or I'll come across desperate. Or I'm being too salesy and pushy if I ask for referrals. Well, I'm going to help you today with a mindset shift around this. 45% of new business comes from referrals. That comes from the recommendations of others. On average, 1 out of 20 people will say yes to doing business with you. And it varies, obviously, from industry to industry, person to person. But here's the difference. 1 out of 6 people who are referred to you will say yes to working with you. So you have a 300% better chance of getting someone to say yes to working with you when that person is referred. So everyone's spending all this time trying to find new clients when you can just be asking for referrals. It's so much easier. Why aren't we doing that, right? But we need to train our clients and partners how to do this, all right? So here's what we need to do. We need to provide language to them of what we want them to say when they're referring people to us, because no one can share better what you do than you, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I don't have time to sit down and craft an email to describe what one of my partners does. I don't have time to do that. And I can't do a good enough job. So I want people to send me their language. And then once they do that, I'll make the email introductions, but I won't make the email intros until I have their language. So it will make them so much easier. It'll make it so much easier for them to refer people. You'll actually end up getting more referrals when you do that. All right. So make it easy for them and you'll see what happens. Then we want to train them who to look for. So we need to get really clear on who our ideal client is and to be able to articulate it to them. Because if you just say, who do you know who you can refer to me? That's not going to, it's not going to bring up any ideas, right? I had this analogy that we have a Rolodex in our head. Remember those old fashioned Rolodexes? Well, when someone says, I'm looking for, a single woman, someone who's gotten divorced or widowed who's dealing with XYZ issue, like that's very, very, very specific. And I'll go through my Rolodex and go, oh, I know somebody. But if someone just says, I'm looking for referrals, I'm not going to think of anyone. So make it easy for them by doing that. So before working with Debbie, I was constantly in crisis mode. This is Jill Fisher. She's a life coach and hypnotherapist. I didn't have any systems in place to support the growth of my business. And I didn't know how to ask for referrals, and clients were slipping through my fingers. We created a step-by-step follow-up system and my income doubled. So Debbie helped me create a clear message that's bringing in more people who I love to work with. Now I own the value of what I offer. I just got my first $36,000 client. I'm giving my clients raises all the time because everyone's undercharging and undervaluing what they offer. She now has an easy to follow process to receive more consistent referrals. And within 1 year of working with Debbie, a partner referred $100,000 in business. So we talked about this whole referral strategy where you were intentional about looking for those people, like I mentioned earlier, who have similar clients as you do. So from developing this relationship with a power partner, she got $100,000 in referrals from that one person. Wouldn't you love to have that happen to you, right? She now has an organized, automated process in place to expand her business. Okay. So heart-centered follow-up is the easiest way to grow your business. So it's training them what to say on your behalf, and training them who your ideal client is, and then training them how to give you the referral. Because if they just give your name and number out to someone, you're not going to end up getting a call. Most of the time, people don't reach out. People have said to me so many times, I refer you to people all the time. I've loved working with you. I love what you do. And I say, thank you so much, but I've never heard from anyone. So you need to train them how to give you the referral. And what I mean by that is to ask for permission for that person to give their contact information to you, or to make an email introduction. That's the easiest way to do it. So heart-centered referrals is one of the easiest ways to grow your business. So we talked about today networking in a more effective way, getting systems in place, and then how to create a referral strategy. So have you been feeling scattered or unproductive in your business? A lot of people have all these cards from pre-COVID. Now they're collecting them again. They don't know what to do with them. Do you want to create a reliable follow-up and sales system to create consistent results? Well, if so, I just want to invite you to reach out to me at powerupyourfollowup.com. I have a discovery session. We can connect. There's lots of resources there. So if you're looking for support to consistently enroll more clients, I invite you to reach out. Obviously, in this 30, 40 minutes we've had together, I could only share just a little bit of my process, but I'd love to have a conversation with you if you're looking for more support. So I look forward to following up with you soon. Bye for now.